Oh, hey again. It's Giacomo from Newberry Filmwerks. Yeah, it's been a while since the little social media thing. Been busy doing a lot of different things, trying to get my drone business going and putting out flyers for the company. But tonight is very, very special. Yours truly is going to an artist reception at the Newberry Opera House for a piece of artwork that I created. Come along with me. Come on. You can do it. Come on. So, like a lot of artists, I have multiple interests when it comes to the visual arts. I'm not a professional dancer, but I have danced. I sing, I do poetry, I do voiceover work, as you could possibly tell, and I act. And I've done photography for a very, very long time, really more as a hobby. Although I did take some professional classes in New Jersey back at Seton Hall. The story about this artwork that I presented tonight at the Opera House, when I first came to South Carolina about 7 years ago, come January, I was on my, I wouldn't say my last legs. I was definitely near rock bottom. I had lost everything that I had and had to move into a rental house in Newberry. And not long after I got in and got settled and kind of started looking for work, started trying to rebuild my life, my cat died. And so being really upset about that, I tried to, comfort myself with whatever I possibly could along the way of my artwork. And so I went out with Robert Matheson. We originally had a Newberry photo group where we'd go around and take pictures. And the first time that we went out, I happened to notice that there was a random set of stairs in an abandoned lot. Now, it's a common occurrence here. I'm not really familiar with that, where I come from in New Jersey or in California, where I spent 20 years of my life. And so it struck me to take a picture of that. It came out really, really well. But being a digital artist, I couldn't leave well enough alone, so I decided to see what I could possibly do with the filters and AI technology that's out there even several years ago. And so I took that picture of these stairs and I kept tinkering with it. I kept tinkering with it, and finally, bam, the stairs came alive with fire. And I said, that's it. But then I had to figure out, what do I want to call this? Stairs on fire? No. Because I'm a man of God and quite familiar with the Old Testament, being Messianic Jewish. And so, knowing that Jacob's ladder wasn't actually a ladder, but a set of stairs, I said, this is going to be Jacob's ladder. Well, let's bring it back to the Hebrew. So I called it Yaakov's ladder. And it became a bit of a smash hit around here. And then one day I decided to print it and see what would possibly happen if I did. And maybe somebody will notice this and become inspired to do their own work, and hopefully I can make some sales out of it. Let's see. This is Robert Matheson and his work Old Joe. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Old Joe was Newberry's old fire horse, right, in the 1920s. He was the winningest race fire horse in the state. His trainer was Malcolm Lassane, and they were housed into this building. And when he passed away, he's actually buried on the corner of the old Firehouse Conference Center next door. And the bells will ring, I believe it was 32 or 33 times for every year that he was alive, and all the town came out. And anyhow, he was kind of a Newberry's de facto mascot, other than the wolf, of course.
Tell us about the work itself.
It's oil painting, 16 by 20 oil painting on board. It's just an interpretation of Old Joe. There are some kind of blurry photos of him in the past, but that's kind of a young, or I'm sorry, not Old Joe, of Malcolm was saying this is like a younger rendition of Malcolm at the time. Yeah, all Prima painting.
Okay, how long did it take you?
Maybe it was 3 sessions over the course of like 4 or 5 days.
Wow.
So.
Awesome sauce. Where can we get a hold of you?
RobertMatheson.com.
Oh, fantastic.
All
right. Tell us who you are. Tell us about your work.
I'm Brandy Brooks. I did what I call a singing at a dark theater. I started it one day because I was worried that what if I lost my eyesight, because my eyes get really fuzzy some days. So I thought, let me take some scraps and some thread and fabric I wouldn't use otherwise and do something with it. And I sat at the first annual Newberry Film Festival, and I just sewed all day in the dark. And then I added more pieces on when I could see.
Okay. And when did you finish it?
Oh gosh. In 2022, I took it to London with me and worked on it everywhere, on the tube, the plane, waiting in line. I just took my scraps and my threads. I always have them with me anyway.
Cool. And how long did it take you?
A couple of months, I would think, just because I set it down and pick it up.
Now, tell me what we're seeing here in your work.
It started out as a piece of fabric from a designer's swatch book, and I just took little tiny pieces of fabric that was left over from other projects, like when I cut t-shirts apart, just the little hem section, tiny little pieces from quilts when they got cut off to even out the squares, and then scraps of thread that were too short to do anything else with. So I would just run it through until it ran out. Or I had a big wad of sewing machine thread that got all wadded up, so I just pulled it apart and stitched with it.
Fantastic.
These were all scraps that I kept from being put in a landfill somewhere.
Fantastic. How can we get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at mindthegoose on Facebook or mindthegoose@gmail.com.
My name is Sandra Oliver. I'm a member of Creek Art League, live here in Newberry, and I'm a retired teacher.
Tell us about your work.
This is a camellia that's in front of my house, and I had taken photographs of it and decided to paint it.
Okay. What do we see here in the picture?
These are camellias, and some of this is some medium that gives it a little bit of three-dimensional.
How long have you been painting?
11 years.
Oh, wonderful.
From Anna K. Singley, who is an artist here from Newberry, lives in Prosperity. And she challenged us during the pandemic, 6 of us, to paint every week. She was afraid we wouldn't paint, so she gave us a challenge every week. And this was one of the challenges, to paint something in our yard. And we did, 6 of us did over 130-some paintings during the pandemic. Every week we did another painting.
Outstanding. How long did it take you, this one here?
This was off and on for a couple of days.
Really?
It's watercolor, so watercolor dries fast.
Fantastic. How can we get a hold of you?
I've got an email address, soliver497@bellsouth.net, and you can contact me through Creek Art League, Marguerite Palmer probably knows how to get in touch with me, who is Newberry Arts Center. And the Art Center Art League is in Chapin. I've been a member of it for 11 years.
All right, tell us who you are, what's your work?
My name is Oswaldo Tapia. Everybody calls me Waldo. What you want to know about the picture? Well, it's the Opera House. It's kind of like a story, and it was I don't know, I'm gonna say about 6 o'clock, I believe. And I was kind of like on the zone and took the picture. Got lucky, I guess. Everything's original. Everything's original. It's I just kind of like make it bigger size because it was small, maybe like a 12 by 18. So I had to put more pixels in it to make it larger. So, but it's original.
Cool. How long did it take you?
How long? Maybe a minute.
A minute? Okay.
Yep.
Did you produce it yourself? You had it sent out?
What?
The print, yeah.
The print? No, well, I printed it.
Yeah.
And actually, TC Bowers framed it and everything for me.
Very cool. All right, how do we get a hold of you?
They got to call me. 803-924-0923.
There we go. The name, tell us about your work.
Marion Mason. This is my work as polymer clay and what's that? That is poplar wood, and it's on a marble base.
Okay. And what was your inspiration for making it?
Nature. Almost all of what I do is based on images, movements, contrast, shapes that I see in nature.
Fantastic. And how long did it take you?
Oh wow. Overall, from start to finish, just starting it, a couple of days.
Nice. Wonderful, wonderful. And how can we get a hold of you?
I'm in Lexington. You can see my website at www.sculptguy.com. SCULPTGUY, sculptguy.com.
Sculpt Guy, I love it. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for coming, everybody out. I know we've had a couple of change of dates and so forth, but we really appreciate you being here tonight. I'm Darby Samargo, member of the local Art on View committee and sort of gatherer of artwork and curated exhibition for this. And so I'm just really excited to have this going on at the Opera House. Also a part of the team of folks who work on the renovation and reopening of the Opera House. So this has all been a real big, giant combination of wonderful projects in the past. So it's been a really fun time for us all. But I just wanted to gather you a little bit. I know this is kind of small and over here in the corner, but if you haven't had your chance to make it over this way, we created a placard for the exhibit, similarly to what you had for your contact cards. And so thank you to TC, wherever he is. Yep, there you are. Thank you, TC, for putting these together for us. And yeah, Local Color is the name that we chose for the exhibit. And I just will read this quickly for you. The setting for our story is a grand reopening of the Newberry Opera House on September 13th of 2024. This is the inaugural exhibition hosted by Local Art on View. 16 local artists are represented through a variety of mediums and will be on display in our community's historic landmark venue for the entire year. Thank you, patrons, for your engagement and appreciation. Thank you, partners, for your involvement, funding, and support of the arts in our community. And a part of that committee, just wanted to list off, there's a few websites here for the folks that are involved in the Local Art on View committee. In addition to myself, we have Ann, who's over here, director of the Opera House. Thank you also for hosting the event tonight, Ann. And we have Marguerite Robert Matheson, our artist. And also not here with us tonight, Paula Riddle. She is an art professor at Newberry College. So those were all the folks that were part and parcel to this juried exhibition and choosing of our artists. So I just wanted to mention quickly a little bit about the naming of the exhibit. If you'll